Welcome to Dunning Spring Park in Decorah, Iowa, a place of serene beauty just a few minutes away from the nearby downtown.
That proximity to the Iowa outdoors is present throughout our expanded 7th season, and it accentuates this fact, that your next adventure could literally be right around the corner.
The karst topography of northeast Iowa often resembles the imagery of a Bob Ross painting, home to rigid rock outcroppings and bubbling streams. It's also a two-wheel destination for adrenaline seekers.
These hills have some of the best mountain biking trails in our entire state, but these paths don't materialize out of thin air. They require men and women with a passion for speed and hard work.
Welcome to Decorah, Iowa, home to world-famous eagles, beautiful trout streams, and an outdoor adventure vibe, especially on two wheels. The area's signature paved recreation loop, the Trout Run Trail, draws visitors from beyond our state's borders. But even more adventure lies in the hills above Decorah, where a steady stream of mountain bikers have found an expansive playground.
The ridgelines above Decorah are a mix of open prairie, windy switchbacks, and wooded passageways with glowing afternoon light.
It's just beautiful up there. You can kind of get lost in the beauty of the pines overlaying on top of you and riding through them. It's a great time.
This variety of terrain packed into easily accessible trails makes Decorah a statewide cycling leader.
Each have their own fair share of challenges, and when it comes between ruts and rocks and such. So kind of certain areas test your technical skills.
The wise trail builders of this northeast Iowa outdoor mecca even named one path after public television. The stories behind the moniker are varied, but we're sticking with the theory it's in honor of IPTV's Iowa Outdoors.
If you venture along these trails after sunrise, you may find Josie Smith tearing across the countryside and blazing a trail for women throughout the world of mountain biking.
Being able to go out and not feel, the real world focus, disconnecting yourself from the internet and disconnecting yourself from the TV, radio, whatever, and just be out in nature and hear the birds, smell the leaves. It's beautiful. Ultimately, everybody says if you can ride Decorah, you can ride anywhere.
Josie's journey from a paved trail recreational cyclist to a self-proclaimed member of the Fearless Women of Dirt serves as an outdoor inspiration. Mountain biking culture has long channeled a macho ethos of mud, rough terrain, and hard wipeouts.
There's a really healthy mix of different terrain within the bluffs. And with that comes being able to have more experience with riding various types.
Josie, a Waukon, Iowa native, didn't grow up an active cyclist, but she now spends much of her free time carving up the dozens of trails in far northeast Iowa.
I was really inspired by how two wheels could get me from point A to point B, and just the feeling of liberation that it's something that seems so simple, but yet it can have such a big impact on a person's mental, emotional, and physical life. So one of the things that I wanted to do was get more people inspired to do that. And first it was going for rides on the paved trail, but once I found that I loved riding the off-road trails of Decorah, my other main goal was to get more women involved on that.
Her journey is an inspiration for outdoor women that stop short of pursuits they may deem out of reach, either by perceived physical or mental limitations. For those women, Josie has a few suggestions.
There's a lot that goes into mountain biking that seems very intimidating, but once you get past the initial worries of, am I going to fall, will I get hurt, and realize that more times than not, if you tip over, you're going to get a bruise. You're not going to break a bone. You're not going to come out mangled. And then you get into the I'm accomplishing something I never thought I could do. So you get this adrenaline and high and confidence boost from being able to do something that seemed to be very impossible.
Her advice continues on the web pages of Josie's Bike Life, her longtime blog where she showcases women cyclists and her adventures along the trail. Hundreds of entries and corresponding readers have fostered a community culture for Decorah mountain bikers.
To see how it's grown and to see how many people are reading and sharing or liking has been a very humbling experience for me. I've had quite a few people come to me and say, I feel the exact same way, or I'm surprised that you feel that way. Like, you seem like you're an excellent rider, or you should have no worries or fears or concerns. And, it brings the humanness back to the whole world of cycling.
Josie, who helps run the local Decorah bicycles with her husband and shop owner Travis Greentree, also organizes weekend rides. By gradually boosting rider confidence, she's nurtured a network of Decorah mountain bikers with varying experience and gender.
I guess the determination came into play, and it's like, I want to be one of those women. I want to be one of the women that people see doing it and think, gosh, that is so cool. Like, I want to do that too. So that kind of is what inspired me to say, yeah, like, this is something that I want to do. I want to show people that a clumsy farm kid can totally ride off-road and not get hurt.
For Josie, there's something magical about riding these hills, something that clears her head and settles her mind at the beginning or end of a long day. Women still make up merely a portion of all mountain bikers, and Josie is realistic about how many can be drawn by the nature of the sport. But in Decorah, Iowa, one truth remains constant. The trails beckon anyone to conquer the inclines or bumpy tree root covered paths and venture out into the Iowa outdoors.